At just 8 years old, Calvin was locked in a dog kennel by his father, abandoned and left to struggle against his confinement. For 3 long nights, Calvin battered at the chain securing the gate with a rock in a desperate attempt to escape. His efforts were futile at first, but on the 3rd night, he discovered a weakness in the chain and, with sheer determination, freed himself. Running from home, his young legs gave out from exhaustion, and Calvin was forced to find shelter. He found it in the form of an old man associated with Haley's Circus, a traveling troupe of performers known for their daring feats. The old man, seeing potential in Calvin, took him under his wing and trained him in the art of escape. Mr. Haley, the leader of the circus, took him aside for a private performance, one that would alter his life forever. The performance was for a secretive group known as the Court of Owls, an ancient and shadowy organization that controlled Gotham from the shadows. As Calvin performed in the dimly lit room, he experienced something he had never encountered before, a sense of entrapment. It was a feeling that he had not known since that night in the dog kennel. But despite the oppressive darkness, he kept his composure and escaped. Mr. Haley handed him over to the court, where Calvin was offered membership in exchange for serving their purposes. The court, a society of killers and manipulators, promised Calvin the power to rid the world of its evil, an allure too strong for him to resist. In the years that followed, Calvin underwent grueling training to become one of the court's assassins, Talon. The process was brutal, and his initiation required him to kill the Talon he was meant to replace. As part of his final test, Calvin was placed in a complex maze, a twisted trial designed to break the wills of even the most capable candidates. But Calvin was no ordinary candidate. He was the first to ever escape the maze. His success earned him a coveted position among the Talons. His first mission as a Talon involved infiltrating the apartment of Eric Washington, a wealthy and influential businessman whose company had been developing the most advanced security systems in Gotham. Washington had recently passed away, leaving his company and apartment to his daughter, Casey. The court's orders were clear: eliminate the Washington bloodline. As he prepared to carry out the mission, something unexpected happened. He hesitated. As he entered the apartment and prepared to kill Casey Washington, he noticed a detail that made his heart sink. Casey had a young daughter, Sarah. It was then that he realized the Washingtons were not the criminals the court had led him to believe. With a sickening sense of guilt, he knocked Casey unconscious and fled the apartment, taking both mother and child with him. The betrayal of the court marked a turning point in Calvin's life. No longer the obedient assassin, he became a fugitive. The court sent other Talons to track him down, leading to a tense and dangerous pursuit. Calvin, now with Casey and Sarah in tow, fought to protect them from the wrath of his former allies. For a brief period, Calvin became known as Gothamite, a man caught up in the city's strange and surreal atmosphere. One of the most defining aspects of Calvin Rose's transformation was the infusion of electrum into his bloodstream, a process that was part of the court's dark experiments. The electrum granted Calvin superhuman healing abilities, allowing him to recover from injuries at an astonishing rate. The constant healing process also rendered Calvin immune to pain, a blessing and a curse. The electrum coursing through his veins also contributed to his incredible physical endurance and strength, making him one of the most dangerous members of the Talons.